Welcome, everybody, to another Peace Seekers episode. We are still exploring the Book of Enoch, and we are on part 9. So we only have this and 3 other more parts left, and that will conclude the reading of the Book of Enoch. For those who don't know, the Book of Enoch, the Peace Seekers, is where I've been reading through the Apocrypha. We have gone through the Testaments of the 12 Patriarchs. We are now wrapping up the Book of Enoch. We'll probably jump to Jubilees next, and we'll kind of see where we will go from there. But hopefully those who are joining us live or those who join us later are enjoying the readings, minus my stumbles here and there. So hopefully you are all having a great start of your week. And if you didn't check out last night's episode, Brings Life Water, episode 29, I believe, definitely go check it out. It was a good one. So anyways, let's get into it. We'll jump right into the reading, give a little thoughts about what we read, and then we will call it a stream. So bring that up for everyone. Get rid of me. Bring this up. So we are using sacredtext.com. Now, obviously use discernment with this website because they have things like get a tarot reading, etc. But we're using the Apocrypha, so you click that, bring you to this page, scroll down a little bit, and it kind of explains what the deuterocanonical Apocrypha and what it is supposed to supposedly be. And of course there's all of these. Now we talked about the Testament of the 12 Patriarchs, and I would say why did they take that out of Scripture? And we're reading through, and I've read before, but we've been reading through the Book of Enoch, something that also was taken out. And it's interesting, right, that it was translated by R.H. Shells in 1917, but it was taken out of the Bible during, the Nicene day. So very interesting there. But anyways, if you click on the Book of Enoch, it will bring you to this page, give you some information about when it was supposedly written and all that jazz. And as you see, we have read through quite a bit. And we are on the book of the course of the heavenly luminaries. And so what's interesting about this is it's going to seem kind of drab in ways, but very brilliant in other ways. So hopefully you're excited. And I'll go ahead and post this real quick everywhere. I am streaming on Lighthouse as well as on YouTube, as well on CEF, as well as on Take on the World. So I'm going to go throw this in the chat. If you are interested in reading along, you will be able to do so. Or if you have your own, Bible or, book, actual physical book, read along us that way. Of course, it may be a little different because this is, again, the R.H. Charles translation. So, okay, sweet. That is posted everywhere. Let's get on to the reading. I'm going to make this full screen for y'all, so let me do that. Boom. Perfecto. All right. The Book of the Courses of the Heavenly Luminaries. Oh, I'm going to have to look this up because there's no way I'm remembering. Roman 72. Okay. The Book of the Courses of the Heavenly Luminaries. Chapter 72. The Book of the Courses of the Luminaries of the Heaven, the relations of each according to their classes, their dominion and their seasons, according to their names and places of origin, and according to their months which Uriel. Let's move this a little bit. Get this over here. Sorry, give me a second to do a little physical housekeeping and get this over here. Okay. Alrighty. This is much better. Okay. According to their names and their places of origin, and according to their months, which Uriel, the holy angel who was with me, who is their guide, showed me. And he showed me all their laws exactly as they are, and how it is with regard to all the years of the world and unto eternity, till the new creation is accomplished, which dureth till eternity. And this is the first law of the luminaries. The luminary, the sun, has its rising in the eastern portals of the heaven, and its setting in the western portals of the heaven. And I saw 6 portals in which the sun rises, and 6 portals in which the sun sets. And the moon rises and sets in these portals, and the leaders of the stars in those whom they lead. 6 in the east and 6 in the west, and all following each other in accurate corresponding order. Also many windows to the right and left of these portals. And the first there goes forth the great luminary named the sun, and his circumference is like the circumference of the heaven, and he is quite filled with illuminating and heating fire. The chariot on which he ascends, the wind drives, and the sun goes down from the heaven and returns through the north in the order to reach the east, and is so guided that he comes to the appropriate portal that shines in the face of the heaven. In this way he rises in the first month in the great portal, which is the fourth of those 6 portals in the cast. And in the first portal from which the sun rises is the first month are 12 windows openings, from which proceed a flame when they are opened in their season. When the sun rises in the heavens, he comes forth through the just to show y'all where we are. There we go. Right here. And though the 4th portal in the succession, and sets accurately in the 4th portal in the west of the heaven. And during this period the day becomes daily longer, and the night nightly shorter to the 13th morning. On that day the day is no longer than the night by a 9th part, and the day amounts exactly to 10 parts, and to the night to 8 parts. And the sun rises from the 4th portal, and sets in the 4th, and returns to the 5th portal of the east 30 mornings, and rises from it, and sets in the 5th portal. And then the day becomes longer by 2 parts, amounts to 11 parts. And the night becomes shorter, and amounts to 7 parts. And it returns to the east, and enters into the 6th portal, and rises and sets in the 6th portal 31 mornings on the account of its sign. On that day the day becomes longer than the night, and the day becomes double the night, and the day becomes 12 parts, and the night is shortened and becomes 6 parts. And the sun mounts up to make the day shorter and the night longer. And the sun returns to the east, and enters into the 6th portal, and rises from it, and sets 30 mornings. And when 30 mornings are accomplished, the day decreases by exactly 1 part, and becomes 11 parts, and rises in the 5th portal, in the 5th portal for 30 mornings, and sets in the west again in the 5th western portal. On that day the day decreases by 2 parts, and amounts to 10 parts, and the night to 8 parts. And the sun goes forth from the 5th portal, and sets in the 5th portal of the west, and rises in the 4th portal for 31 mornings on the account of its sign, and sets in the west. On that day the day is equalized with the night, and becomes of equal length, and the night amounts to 9 parts, and the day to 9 parts. And the sun rises from that portal, and sets in the west, and returns to the east, and rises 30 mornings in the 3rd portal, and sets in the west in the 3rd portal. And on that day the night becomes longer than the day, and the night becomes longer than night, and day shorter than day till the 30th morning. and the night amounts exactly 10 parts, and the day to 8 parts. And the sun rises from the third portal, and sets in the third portal in the west, and returns to the east. And for 30 mornings rises in the second portal in the east, and in the like manner sets in the second portal in the west of the heaven. And on that day the night amounts to 11 parts, and the day to 11 parts. And the sun rises on that day from that second portal, and sets in the west in the second portal, and returns to the east in the first portal, and 31 mornings, and sets in the first portal in the west of the heaven. And on that day the night becomes longer, and amounts to the double of the day. And the night amounts exactly to 12 parts, and the day to 6. And the sun has therewith transversed the divisions of his orbits, and turned again on those divisions of his orbit, and enters the portal 30 mornings, and sets also in the west opposite to it. And on that night has the night decreased in length. And on that night has the night decreased in length by a ninth part, and the night has become 11 parts, and the day 7 parts. And the sun has returned and entered into the second portal in the east, and returns on his divisions of his orbits for 30 mornings, rising and setting. And on that day the night decreases in length, and the night amounts to 10 parts, and the day to 8. And on that day the sun rises from that portal, and sets in the west, and returns to the east, and rises in the third portal for 31 mornings, and sets in the west of heaven. On that day the night decreases, and the amounts to 9 parts, and the day to 9 parts, and night is equal to the day, and the year is exactly as its day 364. To its day 364. And the length of the day of the night, and the shortness of the day and of the night arise. Through the course of the sun these distinctions are made. So it comes that its course becomes daily longer, and its course nightly shorter. And this is the law, and the law of the sorry, let me take a break and get a drink. Apologize. Dang it. Kind of says the same thing over and over, so I need to. And the sun has returned and entered into the second portal in the east, and returns on those divisions of his orbit for 30 mornings. Oh, no, I'm past that. And on that night decreases, amounts to 9 parts, and the day to 9 parts. And the night is equal to the day, and the year is exact as its day 364. And the length of the day and of the night, and the shortness of the day and the night arise. Through the course of the sun these distinctions are made. So it comes that its course becomes daily longer, and its course nightly shorter. And this is the law and the course of the sun. And his return as often as he returns 60 times and rises, the great luminaries which is named the sun forever and ever. And that is which thus arises is the great luminary, and so is named accordingly to its appearance, according as the Lord commanded. As he rises, so he sets and decreases not, and rests not, but runs day and night, and his light is 7-fold brighter than that of the moon, but as regards the size, they are both equal. Okay. Page. And after this I saw another, chapter 73. And after this I saw another law dealing with the smaller luminary, which is named the moon. And her circumference is like the circumference of the heaven, and her chariot in which she rides is driven by the wind, and the light is given to her in definite measure. And her rising and setting change every month. And her days are like the days of the sun. And when her light is uniform, it amounts to the 7th part of the light of the sun. And thus she rises, and her first phase in the east comes forth on the 30th morning. And on that day she becomes visible, and constitutes for you the first phase of the moon on the 30th day, together with the sun in the portal where the sun rises. And on one half of her goes forth by a 7th part, and her whole circumference is empty, without light, with the exception of 1/7 part of it, and the 14th part of her light. And when she received 1/7 part of the half of her light amounts to 1/7 part and half thereof. And she sets with the sun, and when the sun rises, the moon rises with him, and receiveth the half of 1 part of light. And in that night, in the beginning of her morning, in the commencement of the lunar day, the moon sets with the sun, and is visible that night with the 14th part and the half of one of them. And she rises on that day with exactly a 7th part, and comes forth and recedes from the rising of the sun, and in her remaining days she becomes bright in the remaining 30th parts. Chapter 74. And I saw another course, a law for her, and how, accordingly to that law, she performs her monthly revolution. And all these Uriel, the holy angel, who is the leader of them all, showed to me, and their positions. And I wrote down their positions as he showed them to me, and I wrote down their months, and the appearance of their light, till 15 days were accomplished. In single 7th part she accomplishes all her light in the east, and in the single 7th part accomplishes all her darkness in the west. And in certain months she alters her settings, and in certain months she pursues her own particular course. In 2 months the moon sets with the sun. Certain months she pursues. We're at 5. In 2 months the moon sets with the sun, in those 2 middle portals, the 3rd and the 4th. She goes forth for the 7 days, and turns about, and returns again through the portals where the sun rises, and accomplishes all her light. And she recedes from the sun, and in the 8th day enters the 6th portal from which the sun goes forth. And when the sun goes forth from the 4th portal, she goes forth 7 days, until she goes forth from the 5th, and turns back in again in 7 days into the 4th portal, and accomplishes all her light. And she recedes and enters into the 1st portal in the 8 days, and she returns again in 7 days into the 4th portal from which the sun goes forth. Thus I saw their position, how the moon rose and the sun set in those days. And in 5 years are added together And if 5 years are added together, the sun has an overplus of 30 days. And all the days which accrue to it for one of those 5 years, when they are full, amount to 364 days. And the overplus of the sun and of the stars amount to 6 days. In 5 years, 6 days every year comes to 30 days. And the moon falls behind the sun and stars to the number of 30 days. And the sun and the stars bring in all the years exactly, so that they do not advance or delay their position by a single day unto eternity, but complete the years with perfect justice in 364 days. In 3 years they are 1,900. In 3 years there are 1,092 days, and in 5 years 1,820 days, so that in 8 years there are 2,912 days. For the moon alone the days amount in 3 years to 1,062 days, and in 5 years she falls 50 days behind. there is to be added 62 days. And in 5 years, there are 1,770 days, so that for the moon, the days in 8 years amounts to 2,832 days. For in 8 years, she falls behind to the amount of 80 days. All the days she falls behind in 8 years are 80, and the year is accurate. Completed in conformity with their world stations and the stations of the sun, which rise from the portals through which the sun rises and sets 30 days. Ooh, that's a lot of blah, 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 blah. But I think it's I definitely think it's interesting. What is this? 5. Okay. Chapter 75. And the leaders of the heads of the 10,000s who are placed over the whole creation and over all the stars have also to do with the 40 incalary days being inseparable from their office, according to the reckoning of the year, and those rendering service of the 4 days which are not reckoned in the reckoning of the year. And owing to them men go wrong therein. For the luminaries truly render service on the world stations, one in the first portal, one in the third portal of the heaven, one in the fourth portal, and one in the sixth portal. And the exactness of the year is accomplished through its separate 364 stations. For the signs and the times and the years and the days the angel Uriel showed to me, whom the Lord of glory has set forever over all the luminaries of the heaven, in the heaven and in the world, that they should rule on the face of the heaven and to be seen on the earth, and be leaders for the day and the night, i.e. the sun, moon, and stars, and all the ministering creatures which make their revolution in the chariots of heaven. In like manner 12 doors Uriel showed me, open in the circumference of the sun's chariot in the heaven, through which the rays of the sun break forth, and from them is warmth diffused over the earth, when they are opened at their appointed seasons, and for the winds and the spirits of dew when they are open, standing open in heaven at the ends. As for the 12 portals in the heavens at the ends of the earth, out of which go forth the sun, moon, and the stars, and all the works of the heaven in the east and in the west. There are many windows open to the left and to the right of them, and one window at its appointed season produces warmth, corresponding as these do to the doors from which the stars come forth according as he has commanded them, and wherein they set corresponding to their number. And I saw chariots in the heaven running in the world, above those portals in which revolve the stars that never set. And one is larger than all the rest, and it is that makes its course through the entire world. Chapter 76. The 12 windows and the portals. At the ends of the earth I saw 12 portals open to all the quarters of the heaven, from which the winds go forth and blow over the earth. 3 of them are open on the face, i.e. the east, of the heavens, and 3 in the west, and the 3 on the right, the south, of the heaven, and 3 on the left, the north. And 3 first are those of the east, and 3 are of the north, and 3 are after those on the left of the south, and 3 of the west. Through 4 of these come winds of blessing and prosperity, and from 8 come hurtful winds. When they are sent, they bring destruction on all the earth, and on the water upon it, and on all who dwell thereon, and on everything which is in the water, and on the land. And the first wind from the portals, called the east wind, comes forth through the first portal, which is in the east, inclining towards the south. From it come forth desolation, drought, heat, and destruction. And through the second portal in the middle comes what is fitting, and from it there comes rain and fruitfulness and prosperity and dew. And through the third portal, which lies towards the north, comes cold and drought. And after these forth the south winds through three portals. Through the first of the portals, them inclining to the east, comes forth a hot wind. And through the middle portal next to it, there comes forth fragrant smells and dew and rain and prosperity and health. And through the third portal lying to the west comes forth dew and rain, locusts and desolation. And after these, the north winds from the seventh portal in the east come dew and rain, locusts and desolation. And from the middle portal come in a direct direction, health and rain and dew and prosperity. And through the third portal in the west come cloud and hoar frost and snow and rain and dew and locusts. And after these four other west winds through the first portals adjoining the north come the fourth dew and hoarfrost, and cold and snow and frost. And from the middle portal come forth dew and rain and prosperity and blessing. And through the last portal which adorns the south comes forth drought and desolation and burning and destruction. And the 12 portals of the 4 quarters of heaven are therewith completed. And all their laws and all their plagues and all their benefactions have I shown to thee, my son Methuselah. Chapter 72. And the first quarter is called the east because it is the first. And the second the south because... I'm going to start over. And the first quarter is called the east, because it is the first. And the second, the south, because the Most High will descend there, there in quite a special sense will he who is blessed forever descend. And the west quarter is named for diminished, because there are all the luminaries of the heaven wane and go down. And the fourth quarter, named the north, is divided into 3 parts. The first of them is for dwelling of men. The second part contains seas of water, and the abysses and the forests and rivers, and darkness and clouds. And the third part contains the garden of righteousness. I saw 7 mountains higher than all the mountains which are on the earth, and thence comes forth hoar frost, and days, seasons, and years pass. And I saw 7 rivers on the earth larger than all the rivers. One of them coming from the west pours into the great sea. And these two come from the north to the sea, and pour their water into the Euphrates Sea in the east. And the remaining 4 come forth on the side of the north to their own sea, 2 of them to the Euphrates Sea, and 2 into the great sea, and discharge themselves there, and some say into the desert. 7 great islands I saw in the sea and in the mainland, 2 in the mainland, and 5 in the great sea. Chapter 62? Chapter 77. Wow. Chapter 77. And the names of the sun are the following: the first Oralis, and the second Thomas. And the moon has 4 names. The first name is Ajna, the second Elbla, the third Benaz, the fourth Uriah. These are the 2 great luminaries. Their circumference is like the circumference of the heaven, and the size of their circumference of both is alike. In their circumference of the sun there are 7 portals of light which are added to it more than to the moon. And definitive measure it is transferred till the 7th portion of the sun is exhausted. And they set and enter the portals of the west, and make their revolution by the north, and come forth through the eastern portals on the face of the heaven. And when the moon rises, 1/14 part appears in the heaven. the light becomes full in her. On the 14th day she accomplishes her light. And, oh wow, sorry. Apologize. And they set and enter the, and she accomplishes her light. And the 15 parts of the light are transferred to her till the 15th day, when her light is accomplished, according to the sign of the year, and she becomes 15 parts. And to the moon grows by the addition of the 14 parts. And in her waning, the moon decreases on the first day to the 14th part of her light, on the second to the 13th part of the light, on the third to the 12th, on the fourth to the 11th, on the fifth to 10, on the 6th to 9, on the 7th to 8, on the 8th to 7, on the 9th to 6, on the 10th to 5, on the 11th to 4, on the 12th to 3, on the 13th to 2, on the 14th to half of a seventh. And all her remaining light disappears wholly on the 15th. And in certain months, the months have 29 days, and once 28. And Uriel showed me another law. When the light is transferred to the moon, and on which side is transferred to her by the sun, during all the period during which the moon is growing in her light, she is transferred it to herself when the opposite to the sun during 14 days, her light is accomplished in heaven. And when she is illumined throughout, her light is accomplished full in the heaven. And on the first day she is called the new moon, for on that day the light arises upon her. And she becomes full moon exactly on the day when the sun sets in the west, and from the east she rises at night. And the moon shines the whole night through till the sun rises over again her, and the moon is seen over against the sun, on the side whence the light of the moon comes forth. There again she wanes till all the light vanishes, and all the days of the months are at an end, and her circumference is empty, void of light. In 3 months she makes of 30 days, and at her time she makes 3 months of 29 days each, in which she accomplishes her waning in the first period of time, and in the first portal, and 177 days. And in the time of her going out she appears for 3 months of 30 days each, and for 3 months she appears of 29 days each. At night she appears like a man for 20 days each time, and by day she appears like the heaven, and she is nothing else in her and the heaven, and there is nothing else in her save her light. No, it's a whole bunch of dirt, duh, guys. It's dirt. It's just the big ball of dirt. Like, come on. Okay, sorry, I cannot find my mouse. Where's my mouse? Okay, there it is. Oh, I gotta look this up again. Sorry, I totally forgot. I think it's 78. Roman 79. Okay, you were way off. Chapter 79. And now, my son, I have shown thee everything, and the law of all the stars of the heaven is completed. And he showed me all the laws of these for every day, and for every season of bearing rule, and for every year, and for its going forth, and for its order prescribed to every month and every week, and the waning of the moon which takes place in the sixth portal, for in this sixth portal her light is accomplished. And after that there is a beginning of the waning, and the waning which takes place in the first portal in its season, till 177 days are accomplished, reckoned according to weeks, 25 weeks and 2 days. And she falls behind the sun in the order of stars exactly 5 days in the course of one period. And when this place which thou seest has been traversed, such is the picture in sketches of every luminary which Uriel the archangel, who is their leader, showed unto me. So it's 80 next, right? Okay. Chapter 80. And in those days the angel Uriel answered and said to me, Behold, I have shown thee everything, Enoch, and I have revealed everything to thee, that thou shouldest see this sun and this moon, and the leaders of the stars of the heaven, and all those who turn them, their tasks and their times and departures. And in the days of the sinners the years shall be shortened, and their seed shall be tardy on the lands and fields. And all the things on the earth shall alter, and shall not appear in their time. And the rain shall be kept back, and the heaven shall withhold. And in those times the fruits of the earth shall be backward, and shall not grow in their time. And the fruits of the trees shall not be withheld, and shall be withheld in their time. And the moon shall alter her order, and shall not appear at her time. And in those days the sun shall be seen, as he shall journey in the evening unto the extremity of the great chariot in the west, and shall shine more brightly than accords in the order of light. And many chiefs of the stars shall transgress their order prescribed, and they shall alter their orbits and tasks, and not appear at the seasons prescribed to them. And the whole order of the stars shall be concealed from the sinners, and the thoughts of those on the earth shall err concerning them, and they shall be altered from all their ways. Yea, they shall err and take them to be gods. And evil shall be multiplied upon them, and punishment shall come upon them so as to destroy all. Chapter 91. 81? Oh gosh, I'm so bad at this. Chapter 81. And he said unto me, Observe, Enoch, these heavenly tablets, and read what is written thereon, and mark every individual fact. And I observed the heavenly tablets, and read everything which was written thereon, and understood everything. And read the book of all the deeds of mankind, and of all the children of the flesh that shall be upon the earth to the remotest generation. And forthwith I blessed the great Lord of the King of the glory forever, in that he has made all the works of the world. And I extolled the Lord because of his patience, and blessed him because of the children of men. And after that I said, Blessed is the man who dies in righteousness and goodness, concerning whom there is no book of unrighteousness written, and again whom no day of judgment shall be found. And those 7 holy ones brought me and placed me on the earth before the door of my house, and said to me, Declare everything to thy son, Methuselah, and show to all thy children that no flesh is righteous in the sight of the Lord, for he is their creator. 1 year we will leave thee with thy son, till thou giveth thy last commands, that thou mayest teach thy children and record it for them, and testify to all thy children. And in the 2nd year they shall take thee from thy midst. Let thy heart be strong, for the good shall announce righteousness to the good. The righteous with the righteous shall rejoice, and shall offer congratulation to one another. But the sinners shall die with the sinners, and the apostate go down with the apostate. And those who practice righteousness shall die on the account of the deeds of men, and those who practice righteousness shall die on account of the deeds of men, and be taken away on the account of the doings of the godless. And in those days they ceased to speak to me, and I came to my people, blessed the Lord of the world. Blessing the Lord of the world. Okay, I just want to see something real quick. We are on the house. Oh, did I already go past? Let me do a little refresh. This is 2. Wait, let me do this again. Is this the same as this? Okay, so this is the last one. Or did I already read this? I'm sorry, I'm so confused. Like, let me hit it back real quick. Oh, okay, I think this is the last one. Was that previous? No, I went next. Dang it. Okay, wait. Previous. Okay, yes, this is the last one. Let me triple check just so I'm not wasting people's time. Okay, yeah, this is the last one. Last one. All right, this is the last chapter. Let's finish it up. It's a pretty long one. And now, my son Methuselah, all these things I am recounting to thee and writing down for thee. And I have revealed to thee everything, and given thee books concerning all these. So preserve, my son Methuselah, the books from thy father's hand, and see that thou deliver them to the generations of the world. I have given wisdom to thee and to thy children, and to thy children that shall be to thee, that they may give it to their children for generations. This wisdom, namely, that patheth their thought. And those who understand it shall not sleep, but shall listen with the ear, that they may learn this wisdom. And it shall please those who eat thereof better than good food. Blessed are the righteous. Blessed are those who walk in the way of righteousness, and sin not as the sinners. In the reckoning of all their days in which the sun traverses the heavens, entering into and departing from the portals for 30 days with the heads of thousands of the order of stars, together with the 4 which are intercalculated, which divide the 4 portions of the year, which lead them and enter them 40 days. And owing to them men shall be at fault, and not reckon them in the whole reckoning of the year. Yea, men shall be at fault, and not recognize them accurately. For they belong to the reckoning of the year, and are truly recorded thereon forever. 1 in the first portal, and 1 in the third portal, and 1 in the fourth portal, and 1 in the sixth. And the year is completed in 364 days. And the account thereon is accurate, and the recorded reckoning thereof exact. From the luminaries and the months and the festivals and the years and days has Uriel shown and revealed to me, to whom the Lord of the whole creation of the world has subjected the host of heaven. And he has power over night and day in the heaven, to cause the light to give light to men, sun, moon, and stars, and over all the powers of heaven which revolve in their circular chariots. 1 second. Oh, didn't mute myself. I apologize. Oh my gosh, there was no sound that time. Okay, let me go back. I apologize. That's so dumb. I apologize. So let me. I think y'all didn't hear any of that. I have 2 mute buttons for this, and I do that all the time. It's so dumb. Okay, anyways. So one thing I wanted to point out. So we read from the Book of the Courses of the Heavenly Luminaries. The thing that I was pointing out about this is I think there's almost a challenge in here from Enoch, and he says it kind of interestingly. So I think it's one more page. Okay, yeah. So right here he says, nope, one more page, one more. Okay, so I have given wisdom to thee and to thy children, and thy children that shall be to thee, that they may give it to their children for generations. This wisdom, namely, that patheth their thought. And those who understand it shall not sleep, but shall listen with their ear, that they may learn this wisdom. And it shall please those who eat thereof better than any good food. So what I'm really trying to just point out, y'all can't even see what I'm showing. I keep clicking on the wrong thing. So this is what I was reading from, and what just happened? Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. So this is what I was just reading from. So to me, this sounds like a challenge. To me, this sounds like him saying, like, hey, those who understand what I'm trying to say here, you're going to be pleased better than, you were eating really good foods, eating really good food. So I think there's a lot to learn here. I think there's a lot to dig deep in just this part, right? Just in part 9 of what we read, but of course for the entire thing. But sweet. All right, well, I won't keep it any longer. Hopefully everyone has a great rest of their day. Thank you for joining. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. It does help the channel grow, gets more puzzle pieces to the table. If you are interested in supporting the channel, thank you. All the things mentioned help. So have a good rest of your week. And until next time, guys, remember that ABBA loved you first. Shalom.
Stand